Okay, so today we're going to be talking about technology and our ability to interact with the world and our need to steal that back. Basically, the definition that we're going to be working with of technology is the method and means in which people interact with their world. Different communities use different technologies to both express themselves, to be independent, to work with each other. So now, is that people are losing that ability. As a folklorist, one of the things that we are concerned with is the loss of cultural and indigenous technologies. Technology, craft would be another way to look at that. So the ability for Native American Indians to pass on their basket making, the ability for one group to pass on their quilt making, and also being able to look at different ways that people do that and say, okay, this is a quilt, but this completely different looking quilt, that's still a quilt, and it's still a cultural technology. It's still something that is valid in that culture. So what happens is, in our homogenizing society, different expressions of something, we'll say quilt, one is considered authentic and is a quilt or is, a valid form. The other is not, and it's dirty and it's below and it's not as good as the other. So if you don't conform to the homogeneous understanding of what something should look like, the aesthetic of a craft in our society, then it no longer is a craft and you get put down on a lower rung. So these technologies, these abilities to express ourselves, these abilities to manipulate the world around us and sustain ourselves and those around us, those are being taken by the capitalist system. First off, by our education process and by the actual capitalist system itself that offers a home for you to buy, which you know nothing about. It's magic, and so they have the power, they have the magic wand. And so, again, resistance is taking those knowledges back. And again, it works like this. If you don't know how to do it, and they know how to do it, then they can sell it back to you. They take your life, your culture, your technologies, and your ability, and they sell them back to you. Also, if they have a technology and you don't, then they have that power. And I think the military is actually a really good example. The average person does not have a warship or a technology of that nature. So the more of those they have, the more power they have. So we need to take that back. The issue I have is that most people don't have a technology like that. A lot of us in this generation can deal with electronic technology, but we can't craft anything with our hands. And I think that's a move that we have to make. And I think that's something that we need to be actually concerned with. I think we move a lot toward certain freedoms and resistance. And I think those are good. But I do think in our own lives, when we take back our technology, when we take back our means of production in ourself, that is resistance. At the end of the day, capitalism doesn't want you to be able to create yourself because they want to create for you, and they want you to buy those things with your wage slave earnings. Basically, it's a modern example of a company store. Most people I know don't know how to deal with their home. I was talking with a buddy a few days ago, and he was talking about his father, who, in some sense, is scared of his home. I think people do. They walk around in their house and they're wringing their hands hoping nothing breaks. Because when it does break, then someone has to come in and fix that for you, even if it's minor. And again, I'm not saying that everyone should be a master of all trades and you would never call a friend to fix something that was above your head. But I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about basic stuff. I'm talking about things that everybody should probably have a general understanding about. Also, when we lose our technologies, we lose the abilities to express ourselves. When we can't make clothing, when we can't make textiles, when we can't make our own furniture, we begin to be surrounded by the aesthetic of someone else. Make everything yourself, but you should be able to interact with it. And if those things are made on a local level, they're going to express the community. They're going to express the community, not this overarching society that's trying to assimilate you in. And that's part of assimilation, making everything the same. So, at the end of the day, go out there and learn something. So how do you do this? How do you get this knowledge? There's a few avenues. If you look on the internet or get involved with your state folklorist, there's plenty of people who are out there looking for help. There are people who are doing homesteading that would love to have you come out and help them build their home or set up their farms. And a lot of times they'll provide room and board or at least a place to pitch a tent. There are plenty of people out there who will just apprentice you. You know, you go, you help them out, they help you out. That mutual aid and that knowledge can be a part of that process. You know, and you may have people in your family that you don't even know, people that you already interact with, your friends, etc., that may have a craft and skill that you could learn and you could help them in some other way too. So get out there, learn something, take it back from the state.